Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can programmatically reload your widget from your app in native iOS application. So let's get started. So I have already created one sample project, and from that I will be copying a lot of code, so just be patient. So what I have done is that I have just created a simple UI kit application, but if you want you can use Swift UI as well. And the example which I will take is I'm saving something inside user defaults, and we can increment the value inside user defaults. We can do it from the widget side as well. Let me show you guys the code first, and then I'll show you the output so that things would be much more clearer to you. Okay, in the meantime I will just copy some code. So here I will just go to this particular part. I'll copy this view controller which I had created. I'll copy it and then I'll show it to you. So I'll just go to view controller over here, and I will just paste it over here. Okay, now here I'm importing this widget kit as well. This is our UI label. One button, I have two buttons. One button to increment the count and store it inside user defaults. The UI label will show the whatever is the count stored inside user default, and we will be incrementing the count by 1 every single time the user button is pressed. Okay, ignore this error, this is just a bug from Xcode. In the meantime what I'll do is that I will just erase all the contents from my simulator. Okay, anyways, ignore this. I'll just pause this. Okay, so here I have this another button which will help us to reload our widget as well. We can also increment the count inside our user defaults from widget as well. So here is the key which I'm using for our user defaults. Then this is just a text element as well as font for our label. I have assigned some action to our increment button as well as some title, same for widget reload button as well. Then I have added all three of them to our view. Then I have just done NS layout constraints over here, and as soon as our app is loaded I am updating our label. So whatever is present inside user defaults is displayed on our label. Okay, then here I have one button. Okay, on the button click, what basically we are doing is that we are getting our user defaults. Now here I am not using user defaults dot standard because we want to use this particular user defaults in both our main app as well as inside our widget. That's why we can't use user defaults dot standard. You will have to use some specific suit name. So what typically I do is I will just write group dot whatever is your bundle identifier. So this is not my bundle identifier. Okay, so I'll just remove this. I'll go back to my app. You can use whatever you feel like, but you should be consistent with both on our app side as well as on the widget side. Okay, so I am just using something like this. Okay, so we check whether that particular user defaults have any value. If yes, then we get the current value, append it as 1, and then set it inside user defaults, and then again call update label. If you see update label, we again check inside user defaults. So I'll just update this. So yeah, we again check inside user defaults. If there is a value, then we just update it inside our label. Then here we just reload our timeline view. Basically we are reloading our widget. Now where did this particular thing come from, I will tell you later on. I'll just remove this for now. Okay, so if you want to, suppose if your app has more than one widget which you want to update at one single go, you can use something like widget center dot shared dot reload all timelines. But I don't want to do that. I want to update only one particular widget. So I'm using of kind, and here we have to pass the name which I will show you shortly. So what we'll have to do is just go to file, new, target, and here select iOS, search for widget, select widget extension, click next, and here I will give it some name as my iOS widget. You can give name whatever you feel like. Uncheck this include live activity as well as include control. I have only checked this include configuration app intent. Click on finish and let it do its thing. So I will click on activate as well. Once that is done, I will go back to my practice project again. Firstly I have to create this increment intent, which I will explain it to you in a bit. First I'll just create this Swift file inside our widget, new empty file. I'll just paste it over here. This will actually basically help us to increase value inside our user defaults from our widget, because our widget will also have a button obviously I will have to change. Okay, here I had typed group twice, you should only type it once. Okay, because this name should match with what I have given over here, right? Now same name I will have to use it over here as well, so that's what I'm doing over here. So this method will get called from a button click, which I will show you shortly, but we are doing the same thing. We are getting whatever is present inside our user default, updating it by one, and again saving it to user defaults. Next we'll have to go to my iOS widget, and here I am assigning one more thing called count. So if I go to this particular file, by default I will just close this as well. By default you will see something like this. Okay, so I want to show the count which is present inside our user defaults as well, right? So I will append something like this. Get value, I will show you how we can get that particular value. I will do it over here as well, and we have to do it over here as well. So here I'll keep things simple. I'll just comment this everything out, and then I will just copy this. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. So here also we are doing the same thing. We have created a simple entry which takes a date, configuration, as well as our count. These two are present by default, right? We only require this count, and for this we require this get value. Also the policy I have kept it as never, because we don't want to update it automatically. You can, if you want to update it, you can give it some time inside policy, but for me I will either update it by our button or via through app with the help of this reload widget. Also, before I forget later on, make sure inside your this particular thing you select your own app. Then to get the value, again the same thing, we are basically checking inside user defaults, and whatever is the value present, we just give that particular value, otherwise we return 0. Now again I'll have to change this, so I'll just remove this. Okay, I'll go to my view controller and I'll just copy this particular part. Okay, next here also simple entry, so that's what we were using over here, over here as well as over here, right? So we just have to add a count to it. So let count of type int. Okay, and here you can update the view to whatever you feel like. I don't want to display the time, and I don't want to display the emoji as well. I only want to display the count which is present inside our user defaults, as well as one button to increment that count. So I will just copy this. So here basically we are just displaying the count, this particular variable, and here you can see we inside the action we are passing an intent, this increment intent, which we created a file for, and it internally calls this particular thing. Hopefully that is clear to you now. Now also for this preview we also need to add some count. So this is only for preview purpose. You can enter whatever count value you want. So in case if you don't know what preview is, this particular thing with the canvas, when you select the canvas, it is trying to show you some view. Okay, this is not a real view but just a temporary view. I don't really like this because it takes a lot of time, and most of the time it does not work for me. Okay, even if you comment this code out, that's fine as well. Okay, so this is done. Now coming back to our widget name, so this is our widget name. Okay, whatever you see inside this particular thing, this is my widget name. I'll just copy this, I'll go to my view controller and I'll paste it over here. Now to persist the user defaults on both app side as well as widget side, you will have to go to your app, go to sign in and capabilities, make sure you select your app over here, click on plus capability, add app groups. Okay, again I'll just copy the bundle identifier, wait for this for it to finish this updating provisioning. This may take a little bit of time. Okay, so here you can see that it has finished for me now. So I'll just click on this plus button. It already has this group. After this group dot, I will just enter my bundle identifier. Okay, I will remove the space. Now I will just click on OK. So this is done. Then you will have to go to your widget as well, click on plus capability, search for app groups. So this is the second one. Now here you don't have to add it manually, it will automatically show what you have added it inside your iOS app section. So whatever you have added, just select that particular one. So for me it was my iOS app new, right? So I'll just, so I think this is the one. because it is showing my iOS app and it is not displaying the full name. This is an issue with Xcode, but hopefully you got the point. These are some random things. Now I can just run my application and hopefully it works for me. So let's just wait for the application to build. Okay, so my app is ready. Now what I'll do is that I'll just click on this increment. So the increment value is now 6. I will close the app. I'll just long press on it, click edit home screen, click edit, add widget, and here I will just search for my app. So I'll just search for my iOS app new. So this is the app name, and here you can see you can pick whatever widget you want. I'll just pick this one, and I'll just click on done. Now here also I can increment the value. So here you can see from here I'm incrementing the value. Now my app is still in background. If I open it, it won't work because I'm not updating this value on view did appear. I'm updating it on view did load. So I'll have to close my app, reopen it again, and here you can see it is 12. Now I will increment this particular value, but if you see our widget has not updated, it is still showing the old value. So we'll have to use this widget did reload. Okay, wait, I'll just come back over here. Now I will open this and I will just click on this widget reload timeline, and if I go now, here you can see the timeline was updated. So yeah, that's how you can do it. Thank you for watching. Bye.